So how do you handle packages from NPM that have like a post install step, maybe a build or something that they run immediately after you NPM install them?
Yeah, it's an anti-pattern. So 5 years ago, Sam Saccone filed a vulnerability that NPM has yet to address, where essentially the execution of post-install scripts by default on every install you do can enable a very, very, very bad type of worm to propagate. Whereas it kind of goes essentially like this. Open source developer, gets a bug report and someone says, hey, here's the repo you can download and install to reproduce the bug. Except that person who's filed the bug report put a worm in the post-install script. What it does is scans the current logged in NPM user on that computer, looks at all the open source packages that they have published, and then republishes minor versions to include that post-install script with the code that infected them in the first place. Then that gets published. Other people download from this open source, authors' popular libraries, rinse and repeat. And this worm has gone across the entire NPM ecosystem, stealing credentials, wreaking havoc, right? This has been unaddressed by NPM. I don't know why, but nonetheless, it's a huge issue. And again, when you talk about Fortune 100 companies, what happened with SolarWinds? What is going on with this stuff? Developers are the weakest link in security now because we're running NPM install and there's thousands of things we're installing that we're not even necessarily aware of, right? And so these people have security teams, but these things can slip in. So by removing post install as a default thing that happens, it eliminate this attack surface, right? And you can introduce ways where you say, hey, run this specific command where the user has to take intent to do an action, right? A lot of the time too, these post install scripts are, downloading, compiling, and running binaries, which, is not great from a security perspective necessarily, right? But, with kind of the transition that we're seeing, right? I think the industry's seeing, there's a lot of things that should be WebAssembly modules. Like if you look at what Next.js is doing, they swapped their Sharp image optimization to a WebAssembly variant because it's faster, it's more secure, right? There's a lot of binaries that shouldn't be binaries. They should be WebAssembly binaries because they run everywhere. They require no post-install script. They're directly inspectable. There's a lot of benefit. Like I think 5-10 years ago when the NPM ecosystem came up, sure. Yeah, the WebAssembly didn't exist. Different world today. And lots of attacks happening. So different world and in a world that actually needs a more secure binary runtime format like WebAssembly.